Have you ever been completely alone, but felt like something was breathing in the same house as you? Because tonight, I'm going to tell you 4 true stories from my life, each one proving the same terrifying truth. Being alone doesn't mean you're safe, and sometimes the scariest part is surviving long enough to remember it. Part 1, the night my brother left me alone. I'm 26 years old now, but some nights when the house is quiet and the lights are off, I'm 12 again, curled up in the dark, holding my breath, listening to someone walk around my room. This happened when my parents left me home for the night with my older brother, Zach. He was 18, old enough to know better, old enough to lie. He promised he'd be home. He promised he wouldn't leave. Then, like an idiot, I trusted him. The second my parents' car disappeared down the street, Zach grabbed his keys and told me he was just stepping out for a few hours. He made me swear not to tell Mom and Dad. At 12 years old, that felt like power. Freedom. The whole house to myself. I didn't realize I'd never feel safe in a quiet house again. The house starts talking. I went into the den and turned on a scary movie, because of course I did. Halfway through, I stopped watching the screen and started listening to the house. The floor creaked. The wind tapped the windows. The fridge clicked on behind me. Every sound felt closer than it should be. Every time the movie jumped, I flinched. Not because of the movie, but because I was expecting to see someone standing behind the couch at the bottom of the stairs. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I shut off the TV and ran upstairs like the darkness was chasing me. The sound that shouldn't exist. Hours later, after brushing my teeth and distracting myself with Call of Duty zombies, I finally lay down. That's when I felt it. The front door. Not heard. Felt. The vibration traveled through the floor. I assumed it was Zach. Until I listened. Footsteps moved around downstairs. Slow, heavy, unfamiliar. Too much movement. Too long. I looked out the window. Zach's car wasn't there. That's when fear turned into panic. The closet. I had no phone. No way to call for help. I locked my bedroom door knowing the lock meant nothing. Then I crawled into my closet. Small, dark, barely enough space to breathe. And then my bedroom door opened. Someone walked inside. I heard my things being moved. Something dragged across the floor. I bit my arm to keep from crying. I was sure the closet door would open. Sure I was about to die. But whoever it was eventually left. I stayed hidden for 2 hours. The truth. When Zach finally came home, he yelled at me. That's when I knew it hadn't been him. The house had been robbed. Someone had been standing in my room while I hid inches away. Part 2, the man my grandpa never reported. When I was younger, I lived with my grandparents. Everyone in town knew everyone. That's why we trusted him. I'll call him David. He wasn't a stranger. He was worse. The kitchen. He knocked while my grandparents were gone. I opened the door. He was drunk. He grabbed my shoulders. Then the knife. He pressed it into my stomach and asked if I wanted to be stabbed. I remember the cold steel. I remember his breath. Then, my grandparents came home. The night that ended strangely. My grandpa overpowered him. David was never seen again. No police, no charges. Years later, my grandma mentioned something strange. That night, my grandpa went hunting. At night. With a tarp in the truck. Part 3, the friend I almost didn't survive. Spring break, 2020. I was 15, home alone again. Neil came over. Something was wrong with him. He asked if the doors were locked. He reached for a knife. I stopped him. If I hadn't, I don't know if I'd be here. Later, I found out he believed he had to kill someone to survive. And Mason had dumped him at my house to save himself. Part 4, the voice upstairs. I was 10. My mom left for groceries. I stayed outside playing basketball. Then I saw someone in my sister's window. Watching me, I ran inside and shouted. A voice answered, "Rat, come upstairs." It wasn't anyone I knew. I ran outside and called my mom. She didn't believe me until she got home and found the window open. Every story taught me the same lesson. Not about strangers. Not about fear, but about trust. The scariest moments of my life didn't happen in haunted houses. They happened in my own home. If this story made your chest feel tight, if you've ever felt watched when you were alone. Hit like, subscribe, and comment "I wasn't alone" if you felt it too, because the next story might sound a little too familiar.